Open Heavens, 27th August 2025. Wednesday Daily Devotional by Pastor E.A. Adeboye. No respecter of persons. Memory verse. For there is no respect of persons with God. Romans chapter 2 verse 11. Bible reading. Matthew chapter 8 verse 5 to 13. I read from the New Living Translation. When Jesus returned to Capernaum, a Roman officer came and pleaded with him, "Lord, my young servant lies in bed, paralyzed and in terrible pain." Jesus said, "I will come and heal him." But the officer said, "Lord, I am not worthy to have you come into my home. Just say the word from where you are, and my servant will be healed. I know this because I am under the authority of my superior officers, and I have authority over my soldiers. I only need to say, 'Go,' and they go, or 'Come,' and they come. And if I say to my slaves, 'Do this,' they do it." When Jesus heard this, he was amazed. Turning to those who were following him, he said, "I tell you the truth, I haven't seen faith like this in all Israel. And I tell you this, that many Gentiles will come from all over the world, from east and west, and sit down with Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob at the feast in the kingdom of heaven. But many Israelites, those for whom the kingdom was prepared, will be thrown into outer darkness, where there will be weeping and gnashing of teeth." Then Jesus said to the Roman officer, "Go back home, because you believed. It has happened." And the young servant was healed that same hour. May the Lord bless the reading of his words. Message. God is no respecter of persons. Acts chapter 10 verse 34. Whatever he has done for somebody else before, he can do for you also. For example, in 1 Kings chapter 17 verses 8 through 16, there was a widow who had only one meal left. God paid her a visit, and that final meal lasted another 3 years. In 2 Kings chapter 4 verse 1 to 7, there was another widow who had only one pot of oil. The Lord moved in her situation, and the oil kept multiplying until there was enough to sell to pay all her debts and live on for her lifetime. If you've seen God do something you desire for somebody, take that as an assurance that he can do the same for you. When you come across an account of a kind of miracle that you desire in the scriptures, rejoice, because your own miracle is on its way. As long as they are his children, God isn't partial to anyone or any type of people. All that matters to him is that you believe, because all things are possible to those who believe. Mark chapter 9 verse 23. God is a God of principles, and anyone who follows his principles and has faith in him will experience his goodness and power. Jesus couldn't do many mighty works in his hometown because of the people's unbelief. Matthew chapter 13 verse 58. Even though they were his townspeople, as long as they didn't have faith, they couldn't receive miracles. Unbelief closed the doors of miracles to them. And Jesus, who had the Holy Spirit without measure, John chapter 3 verse 34, could only heal a few sick people. Mark chapter 6 verse 5. No matter how close you think you are to God, if you harbor unbelief, you may limit what he can do in your life and through you. When someone has faith, regardless of the fellow's nationality, ability, or status, he or she will experience great miracles. When Jesus was on earth, while some Jews were dying in their sicknesses because of their unbelief, some Gentiles were receiving jaw-dropping miracles. The centurion in today's Bible reading is an example of a Gentile whose faith attracted miracles. He understood that distance isn't a barrier when faith is present, and Jesus was amazed at his great faith. Beloved, if you have faith in God concerning a miracle you've seen or read about, God is able to replicate the same in your life. It doesn't matter how terrible your situation is or the obstacles that surround you. If you believe, you will see God's glory at work. John chapter 11 verse 40. Key point. God is no respecter of persons. He only respects and responds to his principles and our faith. Bible in 1 year. Ezekiel chapter 13 to 15. Hymn for the day, hymn number 16. "'Tis so sweet to trust in Jesus." Open Heaven's Daily Devotional Guide was written by Pastor E.A. Adeboye, the General Overseer of the Redeemed Christian Church of God, and audio production by RCCG, Open Heavens Parish, Orunshi, Stockton, California. For you are glorious.